So we'll go to that at this point in time. We'll start with Paul Eubanks.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. This is in regards to the 3.8 Artist Residency Program. I do have a retail art gallery here in Main Street. I am a resident of Scottsdale as well, and I'm the vice president of the Scottsdale Gallery Association. The Scottsdale Artist Residency Program, at first glance, seems like an awfully great idea. I do agree with that. But then one starts to logically think about the type of city that best benefits from such a program. And that is a city with really zero type of fine art presence in it currently. I think plenty of Arizona cities would benefit from something like this. But Scottsdale, as you all know, has a world-renowned international art destination reputation for having some of the finest art galleries in the world. I may also want to say that last summer, a few of us got together and started scratching out in paper the idea for the creation of the Scottsdale Arts District. I'm very pleased to say that less than a year later, it has gained great momentum. It has been embraced by city staff, who has helped us immeasurably to find the success of it, and we're building this brand and is expanding. An artist residency program, in my opinion, might actually distract from that growing of that brand as it continues to gain strength. And I don't think we need yet another distraction to something that's starting to work, that's starting to turn around and involve much more than just the art community, I might add. I visited with a friend of mine who's an interior designer in downtown today, and they were quite amazed at the increase in foot traffic over the last year. I would like to think the Scottsdale Arts District and its catalog may have had something to do with that. So I was thinking of a real simple analogy. I played a lot of baseball in my life, so I thought about this concept. How come no major league team is located in the same city as its minor league AAA baseball team? And that's simply that they don't work together. They don't need the distraction of somebody dividing their loyalties, of the confusion of which team to go watch. And I would very much suggest with the Scottsdale Arts District now, Scottsdale, in fact, is quite lucky to have what I consider a major league team. I think an artist in residency program might risk being a little more of a farm team, minor league team, and again, because of that, we do not need another distraction of exactly where to go in Scottsdale or whom to see to experience the fine art experience. So I encourage staff to strike policy 3.8 and rely on this great program you already have and its increasing and strengthening brand to organically grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eubanks. Next is Mr. Bob Pejman.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Bob Pejman, 7130 East Main Street, Scottsdale. And I want to talk on about policy AC 3.8. And I want to be real objective about this and not be reactive in a normal way. So first I want to be clear that we don't oppose this sort of a plan or a process if it makes sense, but the key word is if. To illustrate that, the City of Mesa recently spent $15 million in forms of public and private funding to basically construct a 50-unit artist in residence facility for artists to basically live and create there. But do you know why they did it? Because the City of Mesa is trying to be the City of Scottsdale. They don't have the art gallery, so they had to artificially invent it. That's not the situation here. The situation here is that we have about 50 galleries and probably over 1,000 artists. So we don't have a shortage of artists, that's for sure. So to contemplate doing something like this here doesn't make any sense. Now, going to the Planning Commission recommendation, they basically recommended that council approve of the downtown plan the way it is and delete 3.8. And Erin Perot, who's on the planning department, basically she advised the planning commission by deleting this. You're not impairing Scottsdale Arts, public art, the Scottsdale School, cattle track, and canal convergence. You're not impairing any of these. And the question was then, if we get rid of this, what are we getting rid of? And the answer is nothing. So that's why, in my opinion, it should be deleted so that there's no confusion. Now, one last important point I want to make is that we don't have an issue so much with the method of funding for this, but rather that if you make this a city plan, i.e. you put it into the downtown plan, you basically are making it a city program. So even if you fund it privately, you manage to find people to fund it privately, if it's in a city plan, it's a city program, which means the city can then promote it, they can market it, they can endorse it, and what other business is in that, has that privilege? And so if somebody wants to come in and gather 20, 50 artists privately without the city's help and basically rent a space, buy a building, and do this, we got nothing against that. It's free enterprise. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Vice Mayor Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor. Are we voting on both of these at the same time, or are we voting on them separately?
We'll do them separately.
You're doing them separately?
They are associated, of course, but yeah.
Well, in that case, I would move that we adopt Resolution 11181 minus policy AC 3.8.
Well, I'm in favor of the motion, including removing AC 3.8, so I call for the question.
Is there a second to the call to the question?
Second.
Question's called. Then we are then ready to vote on the initial motion, which is to approve absent 3.8, as was described. All those in favor, please indicate by aye and register your vote. Aye. It's unanimous 7-0 on item 26.